Hey guys, welcome. Video 2 of our candy canes. So we're gonna do 2 versions. Remember, you don't have to do both. Only choose one. I'll do the marker version and the watercolor. If you wanna try them both, that's fine. You have that extra time, but you just gotta turn in one of them. I also would like to say hello to all my Lithia Spring students. On Thursdays now, I go over to Lithia and teach art to about 10 classes. And 5 of those or so are e-learning. So I just wanna say hey to them, welcome. Buckhorn, you started last week, so this week is Lithia. So they're gonna be doing 2 videos, the one you did last week and this one. But when they catch up to this, I just wanna say hello. And if there's any messages or any concerns, always message me on Canvas. I'm always available. All right, so let's get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the watercolor one first. Okay, now my guys from Buckhorn, you've had experience watercoloring. We did it last year. So now my brick and mortar people are gonna be using the pastels. But as I told you before, I didn't put pastels on the list because it was just a little bit too expensive. I didn't want to keep adding onto the list, but everybody will get to do everything. When you guys get back to brick and mortar, we'll do some pastels. They're gonna do some watercolor and so forth. Okay, so I've got my paint pad watercolor paper. It's a lot thicker than my marker one. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, this one with watercolor is a little tedious. So first I'm gonna clean off my brush. Tap, rub, rub. We talked about the complementary colors. When you read my module, you'll see. So it's opposites attract, hot with a cool, primary with a secondary. It's like Batman to Superman. They're both different, but they have the same goal. Together, they work together, they are awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna go ahead and do the red and green one here. Actually, I'll start here. I'm not gonna do them all 3. I'm just gonna show you how to do one, and then I'm gonna turn you guys loose. And then marker people, I'll do that one next. So if you're gonna do marker, you can go ahead and fast forward through the video and go to that one and so forth. All right, so watercolor people. Got my brush. This set I'm using is actually very light colored, so I'm not gonna do too much with water. I'm gonna go ahead and do the green. I'm gonna rub across. And the key is, now this brush is too big. I would use a smaller one for these canes, but I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna do my pattern. So we know red's with green, yellow's with violet, orange with blue. Right now this is green. Green is the secondary color because it's second place, because without it, the primaries, it doesn't exist. And we know blue and yellow makes green. We do not want to mix any secondary colors. We don't want to mix any complementary colors. If we mix complementary colors, they actually neutralize each other, and it'll make like a brown or black or whatever kind of neutral color. Now, some people have asked, in class, we may not have this luxury, but since you have a week, I was asked, hey, Mr. Patrick, can we let this dry and then do the second section? Yes, you could sit here and let the green dry and then apply the red. Now what I'm gonna do is with the green, I'm gonna go back less water, and I'm gonna make, actually I'll go to the inside. I'm gonna make some sides of these darker so that the light's on the outside. This is when you really start to experiment and play with the watercolors. I might even let this dry before I do that. Okay, now if you're using multiple brushes, that's fine. If not, if you're gonna use the same brush, what I do is flush, swirly, swirly, flush the commode. I know that's a horrible analogy, but you'll never forget it. Flush, tap, tap. I rub, try not to do it over your paper. Still wet, but now I'm gonna do it again. Flush, tap, rub, rub. Okay, now I'm gonna go do the red. And again, the watercolors I'm using are very, very light. But it's easier to make something darker than it is to try to lighten it up with watercolor. So I'm just gonna come in here, and you see we cleaned it well because there's no green in there. I don't know why that's in there. There it goes. Disappeared. It's a little dot that kept wanting to stay. And this is getting a little bit lighter. So like I said, I'm not gonna go back for water. More water makes it lighter. Less water makes it darker. And watercolors, at times it can be like herding cats. Once you get used to it, you gotta it takes some time to control it because you're working with water, and water does what it wants to do. It can flow, it can take any shape or size. It's pretty cool. So, there we go. And I'm gonna go back with the darker spots like I was doing with the green. All right, not bad. I got outside the lines a little bit. You can do better. Now, what'll happen next week is we'll add some touch up for the lights and stuff. But what you do is you clean out your brush, and you can do your orange and blue, your violet and the yellow. Your choice, okay? All righty, good job, watercolor people. Now, I'm gonna move on to the marker one. Yours really is no different. So what I'm gonna do, now the one thing that is different, I'm gonna show you. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in here and outline the areas so I know I don't make a mistake. Now, as you can see, I'm not going all the way to the outside. I'm keeping this outside line blank, and I'll show you why, don't worry. Candy canes are kind of a glossy look to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna color that outline, but I'm gonna keep the outside part white. So you see right here? And what we did is we just faked light, okay? So line, and I'm gonna try to keep them even. The red's gotta meet with those, and I'll show you that. That's the hardest part. Okay, so then I just go in there. Okay, then red is the complementary, so I'm gonna do the same thing now. I'm gonna use the red here to line up. And I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more for this one, okay? Remember, don't touch the green with the red, it'll neutralize the color. So then I'm gonna come here and line up those little white spots. Now, I'm going to go in and trace. Okay, and what you see is it looks like we have light gleaming off of our candy canes. Now, if you start to get all bumpy like mine did, you can cheat, and I'll show you how to cheat here. If it gets bumpy, what I usually do is I can take a black marker and I'll do a thick outline trace of just this side. Don't do the side you did the white on, because it kind of kills the effect. See how that goes? And voila. Now I have some people that come in here and try to line that up a little bit better than I did. And there you go. So, now the other option you can do, if you don't want to have to make the white spot, I'm going to show you how to do that. If that gets a little bit too much, I'm going to do one more with you and show you. So, I'll use the blue and orange. So, I'm going to do orange first because blue's darker. I don't want to mess it up. So, I'll come in here and just color normal. So you can do that. I'm gonna show you one more trick. So if I do this, actually just draw it, line it up. Ooh, made a mistake. Do not do like Mr. Patrick just did. Major boo-boo. My bad. Again, I like showing the mistakes on here because a lot of kids in class are like, you never do. No, we are adults too. We make mistakes all the time. Learn from them and then I move on. So here's the other way you can do it as well. This way I've been told is easier by some of my past students. So you just actually color the whole thing but leave one spot and actually outline it and see it keeps it straight. Okay. Come in here, put it in the same spot that one was, color it, I go up and down, no zigzag, make it straight, or you can go across. All right, let me fix this one. This one's gonna look because of that one. Remember I said it makes neutral colors? Look how dark that got. So that was a good example of what happens. Complementary colors side by side are great, but when they touch each other, they neutralize and make a neutral color. Okay, and I do like this better. It does look a little bit cleaner and more natural. Plus you have that blue outline or whatever color you're using. So this style in the middle does look pretty good. I see why they liked it. You actually just outline the whole thing. So that looks pretty good. Now, third one you can do. And I'll only do 2 of them so you're not sitting here going, oh my God, Mr. Patrick, you've been going forever. My boring voice. Color the whole thing. Okay. Don't leave the white spots. Then when you're done, if you have a colored pencil or a white crayon like me here, and I've got to clear it off a little bit, you can make the marks yourself. So I can come in here, press down. Now it's not going to be as bright with a crayon, but the cool colors will definitely show this off. And hopefully you have a better crayon than I do, but it does give it a little bit of gloss on the side here. So that is going to be up to you. And if you did have a pastel, even though I said you weren't on your list, if you did, you can do that as well. That'll be very bright. But have fun, be creative. If you did the colored pencil one, the watercolor one, excuse me, not colored pencil. Yes, colored pencils would work too, if you want to try those. Like I said, I want you to be creative. But you got the watercolor one, and then you have the marker one. Okay, guys? All right, so next week, we will do the polishing, finishing up, and then we're done. Alrighty? All right, guys, have a great one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.